Hey there, guys, I am back. So let's get back to our reading. I'm going to reread the last part just because it was really important. Sorry, guys. All right. Therefore, to incarnate a new and greater value of yourself, you must assume that you already are what you want to be and then live by faith. Live by faith in this assumption, which is not yet incarnate, in the body of your life, in confidence that this new value or state of consciousness will become incarnated through your absolute fidelity to the assumption that you are that which you desire to be. Of course. One more time. Therefore, to incarnate a new and greater value of yourself, you must assume that you already are what you want to be and then live by faith in this assumption, which is not yet incarnate in the body of your life, in confidence that this new value or state of consciousness will become incarnated through your absolute fidelity to the assumption that you are that which you desire to be. It's just not accepting anything else, guys. Like, you're just not going to accept anything else. You're like, I am this, that's the end of the story, and I'm freaking doing it. This is what wholeness means, what integrity means. They mean submission of the whole self to the feeling of the wish fulfilled in certainty that that new state of consciousness is the renewing of mind which transforms. There is no order in nature corresponding to this willing submission of the self to the ideal beyond the self. There is no order in nature corresponding to this willing submission of the self to the ideal beyond the self. I didn't quite understand that, but let's keep going. Therefore, it is the height of folly to expect the incarnation of a new and greater concept of self to come about by the natural evolutionary process. Okay, now I get it. That which requires a state of consciousness to produce its effect obviously cannot be effected without such a state of consciousness. And in your ability to assume the feeling of a greater life, to assume a new concept of yourself, you possess what the rest of nature does not possess. Imagination. Excuse me. The instrument by which you create your world. Okay, that makes so much sense. This is one of the beauties of God. You know, if we didn't have that, what would we be? We wouldn't be what we are. We'd be the Z word, which I don't want to say on this channel. So the fact that we can imagine things, it's part of the blessing of being a human, right? Your imagination is the instrument, the means whereby your redemption from slavery, sickness, and poverty is effected. Beautiful. If you refuse to assume the responsibility of the incarnation of a new and higher concept of yourself, then you reject the means, the only means whereby your redemption, that is, the attainment of your ideal, can be effected. This is very interesting to me, what he's saying. Do you hear this? How he puts those two paragraphs together? Your imagination is the instrument, the means whereby your redemption, your freedom from slavery, sickness, poverty is effected. Okay? You can set yourself free through imagination, is what he's saying. If you refuse to assume the responsibility of the incarnation of a new and higher concept of yourself, no matter what your situation is, no matter what it is that you seek, if you refuse to assume the responsibility of your incarnation of a new and higher concept of yourself through imagination, then you reject the means, the only means by whereby your redemption, your freedom from this thing is the attainment of your ideal can be affected. So if you don't accept that you have the power within you through your assumption, through your imagination, and that this is your responsibility, then you're basically just saying, well, I don't want to change. I'm not going to use what God gave me to change. Accept it and use it because it's there for you to use. It is a part of your blessing of being a human being, part of your power, if you want to say. Imagination is the only redemptive power in the universe. See, it just says what I said. Imagination is the only redemptive power in the universe. Can you? Some of the things that Neville says, I have to like read them and say them like 30 times because it's so out of the box for what I've been taught. You know what I mean? And it's so sometimes so beautiful that it's like imagination is the only redemptive power in the universe. Can you believe that? If I were to go like 4 steps ahead and reword what this is saying, imagination is the only redemptive power in the, what I'm hearing is if you are poor, if you are overweight, if you are single, if you want men to find you to be a hot woman, whatever the issue is that you do not want anymore, you can be set free of this through your imagination, no matter what it is. That's what I understood from that. That's why I said some of these sentences, I have to like read them over and over because they're so beautiful and so out of the box of what I know. Let's keep going, guys. Okay. However, your nature is such that it is optional to you whether you remain in your present concept of yourself. Wow. A hungry being longing for freedom, health, and security, or choose to become the instrument of your own redemption, imagining yourself as that which you want to be, and thereby satisfying your hunger and redeeming yourself. Yes. Then it goes on to say some stuff, blah blah blah. Okay, let's get into the next chapter. This chapter is called Desire. But all that stuff was pretty cool, huh? That stuff was pretty cool. I should actually separate them because now we're going to start talking about desire. Yeah. I just want to go over this one once more. Your imagination is the instrument, the means whereby your redemption from slavery, sickness, and poverty is effected. If you refuse to assume the responsibility of the incarnation of a new and higher concept of yourself, that means a new and better life. If you refuse to assume that you have this responsibility, then you reject the means, the only way, the only tool where you can be set free of this thing. This is massive. This is massive. Imagination is the only redemptive power in the universe. Can you fucking believe this? Can you believe this? Like, oh my God. However, your nature is such that it is optional to you whether you remain in your present concept of yourself or choose to become the instrument of your own redemption, imagining yourself as that which you want to be, and thereby satisfying your hunger. You can do this, guys. We can do this. Everybody can do this. You know something? There is a girl on the internet, on YouTube, and let me tell you something. I think within the last year, I think I've only been watching her for about a year, okay? And I knew she was using Neville tools. Now, I don't think she meant to, because there's a book out there that I know she read. But she would talk about this, but not in a direct way. She has used her imagination to transform her entire life. And when I talk about money and when I talk about big bucks, this is no joke. This girl looks like a queen. She acts like a queen. She speaks like a queen. She lives like a queen. She takes baths like a queen. She takes pictures like a queen. She is making the money of a queen. Her products are like